Nick, it's a rainy day here.
It is rainy.
And that means that fall is upon us. Ooh. For other people, snow is coming soon. So let's talk about board games. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike.
I'm Nick.
We are the Brothers Smurf, and yes, it's time to talk about everything Board Game Geek, which is, of course, where you can get all the information about all the board games, and we are here to celebrate the geek itself.
That's true. That's true. We're talking about some hot games, some personal things that we saw, some news. Actually, speaking of, let's get into the news. A bit of Board Game Geek news is that the BGG Secret Santa registration is open. This is maybe my favorite thing that happens in board games every year, is that there is a BGG Secret Santa where people can sign up to be people's Secret Santas, and other people can register and put games that they would really, really like. You know what? I would really like a copy of Dungeon Pets. I saw Dungeon Pets over there, that's why I said it. I really like a copy of this, I really like a copy of that, and then people can just gift those games to those people. I really think it's such a cool thing that exists in board games, and it's here on BGG, so you can register for a Secret Santa right now. The holidays are coming up. Make sure to do it. I really, really think it's an outstanding thing that happens here on the site.
If you fancy yourself someone who knows board games quite well, Board Game Geek wants to test your knowledge with a quiz. They have a video you can see right here on Board Game Geek or on the YouTube channel, and it's going to take you through 20 questions, 19 individual questions, and a 20th question asking what ties all the games you've seen together. So some of them are going to be, things like showing a cover, but you don't have the title. Can you identify a cover? We want to put your knowledge to the test. How aware are you of all the types of things you're seeing? This is stuff I really love to do. So go ahead and watch that video. Give your score in the comments below and see how you stack up to everybody else that's taking the quiz, and look forward to future quizzes coming real soon. Now that the news is over, I hear the jingling of fantastical, wonderful board game bits that you can go buy.
Alrighty, it is time for the hotness. These are the games that people are clicking on, writing forum posts on, all this different kind of stuff. Let's get into the 10 hottest games of the month. Number 10 is going to be Ticket to Ride Northern Lights.
This game isn't new.
I don't believe it is new.
Why is it on the list?
I'm not entirely sure. Well, from what I can tell, so Ticket to Ride Northern Lights is a Ticket to Ride standalone box set that takes place in the Nordic countries. And I might be thinking, isn't that just Ticket to Ride Nordic countries? No, this one's slightly different. Ticket to Ride Nordic countries is only 2 to 3 players. This is 2 to 5, so it's kind of like a normal Ticket to Ride Europe or Ticket to Ride US map.
I'm excited. I've never heard about this.
Yeah, and so from what I can understand and why it popped in is because it's finally getting an English release, is what it seems like.
Right.
I think it was only available in Europe. Please let us know if we're wrong, but I think it was only available in Germany or maybe those countries.
Sure.
And it's getting English release, English rules, all that kind of stuff. Ticket to Ride Nordic countries is our personal favorite. I believe there's more routes now, but you still have like the ferries that you'll have to turn in. Locomotive cards to go through and stuff like that. There's like some endgame scoring cards, I think.
As I say, there's like different goal cards that aren't just simply like destination cards.
I think so.
Which I'm like, oh, that's super cool. Like, that feels a little different.
Yeah, because I love Ticket to Ride Nordic countries. Our whole family's from Norway, and so I always love playing that map. Yeah, it's got the best colors. It's got purple, white, and black. It looks great.
Very Christmassy vibes.
Very Christmassy. It's great. So I'm interested in this one for sure. But we tend to play these games at 2 players.
Yeah.
So I always like the 2 to 3 player maps because they tend to be smaller and tighter. But yep. So the Ticket to Ride Northern Lights is kind of in that Scandinavia area, but for 2 to 5 players.
Next up is going to be Covenant. This is coming from Devir.
It's got dwarves. That's all I care about.
It's got dwarves. You're in the mountains, and you're checking out mountains, Gandalf Mountains, and going around and just doing dwarf stuff.
Yeah, you're doing like...
This I feel like has been like announced in and out. And sort of...
Well, if I remember correctly, it had like a cover that people didn't like, so they like redid a bunch of the art.
Kind of designed.
But I think because if you don't know, in Spiele just happened.
So a lot of these are influenced by the games that were sort of
and I believe correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was finally released at Essen,
Yes.
and people are playing it. It's gotten really good reviews.
Yeah, it feels
I know
like it's a
Board
long
Game
time
Ramblings are really, really into it, and I really like their stuff. And so yeah, it's like dwarves and stuff like that. It's got a really cool look. It's by Devir, and I really like Devir games for the most part. And I believe it's like worker placement, and you're kind of doing a bunch of different dwarvy stuff where you're like, you can use your dwarves to like explore the mountainside and like dig through the holes. You'll find enemies there. You can then use them to fight those enemies and like get resources. You're doing a bunch of dwarf stuff. You're digging, getting resources, and fighting.
Trying to find your riches and stuff. You know?
So I don't know. I like dwarves. Dwarves are my favorite fantasy race by like an absolute mile. I love dwarf stuff. So any game that's like very dwarf heavy like this, I'm very into it. I do like the look of it and stuff.
Yeah, the kind of redesign is, I think, really nice. Like I think they were smart to kind of like, okay, let's freshen this up.
Yeah.
And it's now that it's kind of finally getting out there, I think there was a lot of anticipation because sort of been talking about this game for a while.
People have been interested in it.
Yeah, so it's cool that's actually here now.
Yeah. Number 8 was Bounce Around the Hotness. This is going to be Origin Story. This is a tableau trick-taking game by Stonemaier Games.
Yes.
And I'm very interested. It's by Pete Wissinger and Jamey Stegmaier. So Jamey's also a designer, had 2 games this year.
Yeah.
And yeah, this game has got this really cool look to it, first of all.
The art style is really, really kind of captivating.
Almost anime-y, kind of, but not really. But it's kind of like watercolor. I really like the look of it. But yeah, it's like a tableau building and trick-taking game where you're doing trick-taking, but you're getting these kind of like story cards, I think, every round. That are kind of, because you can either be, it's like a superhero story.
Yeah,
and so
you're kind of building out the story of how you became, a hero
or a villain, right? Which is cool. And so like you're building that out, you're getting these like stamina tokens that you can put onto cards to charge them, and they will have abilities that you can use.
Yeah.
Because if you are a hero, I believe at the end of every round, you're going to score a point for every trick you won. But if you're a villain, you get 4 points if you went nil. So if you scored no points. So it's a certain thing. There's like certain abilities that might allow you to get rid of a trick or give it to somebody.
Right.
So you could have won a trick, but then you give it away, and then you have no tricks, and you get 4 points or something like that.
Interesting.
So it seems really, really cool. And then you're going to have kind of like an end game scoring card. I think it's like your final story of you being a hero or a villain. And I'm not sure if you can like flip flop much during your story. I don't know. We haven't played the game, obviously.
Sure. But
it seems cool. I love trick-taking games. I like tableau building games. Again, the story aspect of this one seems really, really cool. I like the look of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very interested in this one.
Trying to go for like a highly thematic trick taker.
Yeah.
Which is not necessarily an easy thing to do. they're kind of abstract by nature.
But I like games based on superheroes. Like Tricky Time Crisis, another great superhero trick-taking game.
Yes, very good.
And so yeah, I'm interested in this one.
Yeah. Next up is going to be Sanctuary. This is a follow-up to Arc Nova.
Arc Nova.
A mini Arc Nova that is a tile placement game. So it's largely focused on, putting out your tiles in your zoo.
And those are like your cards now. They're like animal sponsor cards, things like that. Yeah.
And that's kind of, I think, a really cool thing of taking something like an Arc Nova where you are putting down tiles onto your board that are representative of kind of like the cards you're playing. And like placing things in certain ways is important. Sometimes cards have prerequisites of like, kind of how they need to be placed into your zoo itself, but it's not at all the main thing you're doing or thinking about. So I really like that now the tiles are kind of everything. Again, like there might be the animals themselves are going to be depicted on those tiles, or the sponsor cards and stuff, and the way they're represented. So it seems like it tries to do a lot of the things that Arc Nova does, but obviously in a shorter play time with more of a focus on the kind of, adjacency of everything and putting out your tiles in a way that makes sense to kind of maximize your scoring. I always like tile placement type games like that, where, location, everything is really integral to your success. And it's in a theming and based on a game that many people have loved. So I personally am super excited to try this one. Hopefully, maybe at BGG Con we can give it a go. But I'm just always down for more Arc Nova personally. It seems like everyone else is similarly in that boat.
Yeah. Next up is going to be Orloj, the Prague Astronomical Clock.
I'm so hyped for this one.
We've talked about this one a couple times. We recently did a top 10 games we're looking forward to at Essen here on BGG.
Check it out.
Be sure to watch that. And this one was near the top, if not the top.
It's up there, yeah.
I love pretty Euro games, and this one looks big and crunchy and very, very, very pretty. It's based off of Orloj, the Prague Astronomical clock, which is this big,
real thing,
super complicated clock that has, again, like tells time, but tells like all this astronomy stuff. It's very, very
alignment
old.
of the planets and stuff, and yeah.
It's wild, but it's like this marvel of like mechanical engineering, which is really, really cool. And so this game is based off of that. I believe it's a worker placement game, but it's like you're doing a bunch of Euro mechanic stuff. But again, it just, the cover alone is just like, my Lord.
Yeah, and the thing that's really cool is I don't know the specifics of how it functions, if it's like Zolkin or what, but the mechanism of the clock itself is sort of
part of it.
Integral to the board and where you're placing workers and stuff onto these gears that I think are then maybe moving. And like, that's just cool. Like, it's a game about a big clock. Let's make the board game sort of represent the clock and weave into the mechanisms of the game. Super clever, super duper cool. If it's at all like Zolkin in terms of the way that it functions, love that. But yeah, it's beautiful. You know, Essen every year cranks out a handful of those games where now we have these big, heavy Euro games that are truly beautiful, fantastic components. The production is top notch.
Children of the Sun, another gorgeous Euro game.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, just what a great time to be in the hobby, man.
Yeah, real talk though.
I don't recall what the next game is. Do you know?
Good bit, Mike.
It's called Recall. Do you get it? Anyway, it's called Recall. It's the next game on the list. This is sort of a spiritual follow-up to Revive. It's by the same team.
I don't think they play that much
No,
alike.
I don't believe so, but they have a almost kind of similar look in art. It's kind of evocative and stuff. And so I had the same team that made Revive, which was really enjoyed by a lot of people. So including Recall is, I quite like that game. Recall is sort of their next game, which is going to be another kind of big Euro game, but I believe like a lot of it has to do with like when you bring people back.
Yeah, so there's, I can't remember what they're called. They're called like time codes or time something, but basically it's a thing that you're like, on your turn, you can either put one of those out somewhere on your board or something,
or kind of like
activate the card itself and then the spot where it's at, or you can pull them all back. And I believe
recall everything to your board and
pull them all back, a bunch of different stuff happens. But I know there's like 18 asymmetric factions. Because one thing about with Revive, it's like there's a bunch of different asymmetrical factions, including ones that you can kind of unlock in the game.
Yeah.
And so this one continues on to that, where I think it said there's like 18. There's a whole bunch of asymmetry and stuff. Makes you very different. But yeah, it's about putting these time code or something cards out. You do the action there and actually put it out, and then when you bring them back, which I really enjoy games that have recall powers.
Yeah, put it on the board, bring it back to your player board. Yeah,
right?
Luke Laurie kind of
always
trademark. The person who made like Andromeda's Edge and stuff.
Yeah,
I think for a lot of people, the reputation, you know, from this publishing and designer team. From Revive, I think has fueled a lot of the excitement for Recall. It's also got a really just eye-catching, literally, because big old eye cover.
Yeah.
But I think that and the reputation based on the last game has got a lot of people excited. Very much myself as well, even not knowing a ton about the game. I'm like, if I have the chance to play it, I'm definitely going to do it because I like the other games so much. Even though they're very different, I feel like they probably got it in them to do it again.
Yeah. Next up, I was already excited to play, but I'm way more excited to play it now. This is going to be the Old King's Crown.
Yeah,
this is all over the hotness right now. People are super into this, including Aldi, who owns Board Game Geek.
Scott done got us hyped for this one.
Yeah, and we're super excited. So we're actually going to play this at BGG Con with Aldi. We always play something with Aldi at BGG Con.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. One, because I also love games, kind of the Ryan Lockett special, where the publisher is, the designer also did all the art. And the art in this game is gorgeous, too.
Really pretty.
But this is a big old game where I believe it's like area control stuff. You're trying to expand your, I'm not sure if it's a civilization or whatever it is, but it's like, I do know that the basis of the game is just like war.
Yeah.
So you're flipping over cards simultaneously and kind of see
and sort of the high number wins.
But as Aldi put it, there's all these other knobs and stuff that you can turn, and that like makes the game fascinating from what I've heard. It's really, really good.
Yeah, there's nothing like, I think Ollie said, ostensibly it's war, but you have all these levers to pull and these little things to change stuff up, and I'm like, I want to know more about that.
I'm really excited for Old King's Crown. It already looks cool because I just love the look of it.
Yeah.
I love when...
it peaked in the hotness before. When it first came out, that cover was, and it was very... attractive.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It really, and so now that it's kind of getting out there, it's obviously spiking again. And from what we hear, it's worth the hype.
Yeah.
You know, so I cannot wait to try it ourselves for sure.
Yeah.
Nick,
What, Michael?
if this hotness was based on our personal tastes,
Number
this
one.
would be number one.
Yeah.
Forevermore.
Yeah.
It is the first expansion for SETI.
Yeah, so SETI is not on the list, but SETI, the
SETI
expansion is...
Space Agencies, which is an expansion, is on the list. SETI was our favorite game from last year.
I don't know if I've been more excited for expansion like ever.
It's been a minute. And this is the expansion for it, which is very much what we call a more stuff expansion.
Yes.
There's going to be 3 new alien types, which first of all,
Great.
adds to the 5 from the base game.
Yep.
You only use 2 in a game, so I'm like, great. Like,
Great.
just the variability of that alone, fantastic. More cards that you can just shuffle in. But then it's going to add a few other things.
It's
A little
like
bit
a prelude expansion almost.
kind of a prelude expansion, where now the game is actually 1 round shorter than it was before. And you're going to kind of jumpstart into the action a little bit more. So it's going to kind of get you through that first round, essentially, with some various, cards, kind of starter cards. And then get you right into the meat of it. And this is not a short game, so I think it's really smart to kind of get people up and running. And then you're also going to have different asymmetric companies.
Of course you are.
That you were going to play as. And,
Of course.
for our money, you're doing an expansion.
It's the best expansion you can have.
Give player powers.
Yep. Yep.
That's what we want. So this is very much one where I'm like, I want more aliens for this game. I want more cards. I want, some asymmetry.
Yeah.
The fact that it's adding, again, that kind of jump start to the game is just a wonderful perk that I didn't know I needed.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're personally very excited for this expansion.
I'm so excited. I love
So
SETI,
good.
and I'm very, very excited. I'll be buying this the absolute moment I see it in a store.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm hunting it.
Next is going to be The Hobbit There and Back Again, because Office Dog just be hitting.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Just
It's
be
a
hit-
roll and write.
It is a
It's
roll
a
and
Reiner Knizia roll and write.
As a writer case, when I first saw this game announced, I didn't know what it was. I just had seen the cover, and I was like, oh, it's probably going to be another storybook game or something like that. I was
Great
like, oh, it's
cover,
just like
man.
a roll and write. Okay, wow, it's a Reiner Knizia game.
But it is kind of a storybook.
It is kind of a storybook,
does-
yes, because you're going through the story of The Hobbit, hence The Hobbit There and Back Again.
Mm-hmm.
And there's, how many, 10 chapters? 12?
8 chapters.
8 chapters. And each chapter is a different part of The Hobbit. So the first one is when all the dwarves show up in Hobbiton.
Yep.
And then you go through, you eventually get through the riddle, then you go and you're fighting Smaug and stuff like that. And each one is a different roll and write that all uses like the same components. It all has similarities for the most part, where
Yes.
you're usually either drawing paths on some kind of grid or you're filling in some kind of grid. You're usually doing those kinds of things, usually with the same components, but they are all different and do also feel very different.
Yes.
And I'm charmed by this game. I really enjoy it.
Well, I think it does a great thing where it's very family weight. You know, you can play it with, your kids 10 or older ish, and it's a fantastic production. The booklet is just a series of dry erase boards, so it's all reusable. And I'm charmed by the look. The art is really
yes,
fantastic.
it's really good.
And the fact that you're using the same components, you have like things like bread and swords and stuff, and how they function within each chapter is slightly different, but it gives a high level of accessibility to the game. And the that first chapter is very straightforward.
Yes.
Again, you're kind of making paths and stuff and trying to connect to Bag End with all these different characters, so it all makes sense.
Yeah.
I think it's built with just a lot of charm. And really one that anyone kind of can play and enjoy and appreciate, whether or not you're a massive fan of Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. You should be. I think this is one that can just really sing.
Yeah.
Reiner Knizia, I think, is and will probably forever be the king of like fairly simple mechanisms, fun gameplay, more strategy than you'd assume, but it doesn't bog down with rules. And so this is just like a cool team up.
Yeah.
I would have never expected this game and its theme and its mechanisms and then Reiner Knizia all to be together, but I'm really glad it came together.
And actually, Aldi just interviewed Reiner Knizia.
Yes, you should go watch that.
Which
It's
make
actually
sure you go
really
watch,
cool.
'cause
A legend,
just-
legendary designer.
Yeah,
legendary designer.
One of the tops. And so make sure to check that out. And we'll keep with Lord of the Rings 4. This is going to be Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle-earth, the Allies expansion,
Yes,
which
so-
adds in a whole bunch of characters to
it
Duel for Middle-earth, which is Seven Wonders Duel in the Middle-earth world. And they do change some stuff, which I actually really, really like.
Yeah, so again, this is the kind of first expansion for, Duel for Middle-earth, which has been an absolute smash hit since it came out. Obviously, it's based on another, top 100 game of all time. This now, too, is a top 100 game.
It is already.
Yeah, and I wasn't like, I'm not surprised to hear there's an expansion. It makes sense, but getting one so soon and stuff is great. So,
well, especially considering there's so many characters in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
But the base game of Duel for Middle-earth doesn't really deal with any characters.
No,
at all.
it's just the free people versus the shadow armies and stuff, but you're not really dealing with characters. And now, if you're the bad guy, you can play as Sauron and stuff, and they'll give you different abilities and things to kind of go for. So I'm just like, give me more, please. And it's got that great Vincent Dutrait art as well.
So good.
Very, very cool. So yeah, this is one that, isn't like a massive expansion, but I think it's going to add some really cool, interesting stuff you can do, and also probably some added variety from game to game, depending on like which characters you have in play. So I'm really not surprised to see that this was a very hot commodity. And something that people have been looking for, seeing how, meteoric the rise has been for Duel for Middle-earth.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So that is the 10 hottest games of the month.
Done.
This month. Make sure to check it out next month as well, because it will be a changing. So we always talk about the 10 most played games. So you can log your plays on BGG. If you use something like BGG Stats, or BG Stats rather, it can automatically integrate them. You can have it where your Board Game Arena ones go straight into here. So make sure to log your games, because it will change up this list. So Mikey, at 10, we have continue on Lord of the Rings.
We're all Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring trick-taking game. So excited for Two Towers. The trick-taking game has 6,373 plays.
Nice.
Far Away has 6,514.
Wow. Nice.
Sky Team has 7,100 on the nose. Take Time has 7,241. Is that one on BGA as well?
I might be, yeah.
Because that's the Kramer-Kiesling run, right?
Yes, I believe so. So that
that's like up and down. Oh no, Take Time is, it almost made it onto the hotness list. I'm not sure. I can't quite remember, but Take Time is there. My apologies. I was thinking of Up and Down. It's different.
Yeah, card game, yeah.
Sea Salt and Paper has, Take Time has 7,241. Sea Salt and Paper has 7,381.
Wow.
Harmonies has 8,285. Castle Combo has 9,530. Expansion for that just came out.
Yep, it's great.
Arc Nova has 9,591, and then a big jump up to Flip 7, which has 13,809, and still riding that.
Still. Bomb busters, busting bombs.
Busting bombs.
Wow.
14,556.
We need to play this more, man. I like this game a lot.
Again, it's one of the bomb busters that has multiple scenarios. You can play it back to back to back.
You will definitely play 2 or 3 rounds in a session for sure.
And it won the Spiele des Jahres, so people really love it. But people are playing it.
Wow.
So that is the most played games month and the hottest games month. Let's talk about our personal favorite things we saw on BGG in the month.
I have a post here as my Murph pick from a user that is asking for recommendations for those kind of elegant, simpler, kind of clever and clean games, because they are a little bit tired of the current, slate of board games we get. There's a lot of big, giant, heavy Euro games and stuff, which of course I love to see, but sometimes you get into those games, they are long, they have very long rule books, they're complicated, there's a ton of bits and things to set up, so setup can be quite long, the teach for a game can be quite long, there might be a whole bunch of things that you need to learn and memorize or reference a player aid for, and at times that can be quite tiresome. So I felt this post deeply, because I'm just in a phase right now where I don't have as much energy for those bigger games. So always be my favorite games are those types of games, but on a day-to-day basis, week-to-week basis, I don't always have the juice to learn those bigger games purely for recreational reasons. So I found myself at home, opening up Coffee Traders or something, and I kind of open it up and get some of the pieces out, then I open up a rule book, and then I kind of go, oh, okay, and I just close the rule book and I put it all away. And I'm like, I don't have it in me to do. And I think there's really a beauty to those games that can be described as elegant, as clean. There's not a ton of rules. You can get up and running in a game in less than 10 minutes. You can teach and explain the game easily. This is something that Reiner Knizia comes to mind. You know, these are games that don't have a ton of rules, but there is some uniqueness or some interesting things to think about. There is definitely strategy to employ, but you don't have to get that 45-minute rule dump at the top to get into those games. So, similar to this BGG user, I am looking for your recommendations for games that you think kind of meet that, you know, those criteria. You know, fairly simple on the rule side, fairly easy on the setup and takedown, you know, side of things. But games that still give you some fun stuff to munch on. Let's get those recommendations in the comments below because I'm looking.
My Murph pick is a post by Eric Garcia who is talking about what's the weirdest place that you have played a board game. And they posted a picture of them playing inside an elevator, which I think for the most part, they just set the game up in there as kind of a gag as they play games in weird places sometimes. And so people then were populating the forum, populating the stuff with different places they played games, most times with pictures. And people had played all over the place. People played while camping. People played on like top of a mountain, all this different kind of stuff. And Mike and I actually contributed to the conversation because we once played viticulture with Tuscany on an airplane. And that was a cool thing to be able to add to that. I love playing games in like weird places like this. We bring games, like most of us do, we bring games kind of everywhere we go. And I like playing games in kind of odd places. So just know that you can play board games on an airplane, including board games like Viticulture with Tuscany. You can do it. I promise we did it. It was great. And there's a picture of that as well. So down in the comments, let us know, what's the weirdest place you've played a board game? Maybe it'd be like at my mother's house, and that's not that weird, but hey, maybe it was weird for you, right? And so what's the weirdest place you played a board game? I love stuff like this. I love spreading board games. I like playing board games in public in kind of odd places. So people ask you about them, and it's a good place to kind of evangelize the hobby, which we absolutely love to do. So what is the weirdest place that you have played a board game? All right, so at the end of the video, we always talk about our personal favorite games of the month. Mike, why don't you start us off?
Mine is gonna be a game called Pisanki,
Yeah,
which
what is this?
It is a game about collecting highly decorated Easter eggs.
Interesting.
Which is a practice that happens in Poland and Ukraine and stuff, and they make these very decorative Easter eggs. And this is a game where you are going to be flipping over tiles. It's kind of got Colorado rules.
Okay.
Where you're going to flip over one tile, everyone will flip over one from their their kind of grid that will be on offer, and then you can choose. I'm going to buy. I'm going to collect, one of the lots of tiles, or you can wait to see, more things come out. But someone, if there's like 2 tiles, you're waiting for a third, someone might come and snatch the thing that you were hoping to take. So do I buy early? Do I wait until there's 3 tiles, in which case you have to take something? And you are trying to arrange your grid of tiles with these different eggs that have different tablecloths beneath them. Sometimes there's flowers and things. You're trying to satisfy various scoring conditions. We might want certain eggs next to certain other eggs, having a big old group of, a certain tablecloth color, and on and on and on. And if you take less than 3 tiles, you actually get the ability to move your tiles around. So if I only take 1 tile, I get kind of 2 points of movement. Okay. You can move stuff kind of as far as you want in one direction. So you're trying to arrange everything in, as kind of a synergistic way as possible. But I really always enjoy that whole thing of like, there's some stuff out here, maybe I can wait for another thing, it'll be even better, but then someone might come and snatch it ahead of me. So it's always a fun decision to make. Again, kind of a Colorado type vibe. So yeah.
Cool. It sounds awesome. Yeah. My favorite is going to be Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era. I played this game 3 times this month.
Yeah, you got after it.
Yeah, I got after it. Mike and I did over on our channel, The Brothers Murph, we did a live stream of the entire thing. So there is I think it's done now, but there was a very successful crowdfunding campaign.
Yeah, for an
expansion. And we got to play with some of the new stuff, which was cool. We did all 3 sessions. It was like a 10-hour stream. Really fun. And I was reminded, like, oh, that's right. I really like this game. So much that I soloed it that weekend. Then I had a friend come over the weekend after that. I showed him, played with him. So it's been a lot of Elder Scrolls. I really like this game. It's kind of like, we've talked about before, it's kind of like what I wanted Too Many Bones to be.
Yeah, feels like an evolution of
where you get to build out your character kind of how you want, and then doing these various quests and you're doing these various battles and stuff, and you're rolling dice kind of like you do in a lot of chip theory games. But the thing is, when you roll these dice, they then come in down into your cooldown track, and they'll come back through to you, which is unlike a lot of other chip theory games where when you roll these dice, they're then done until that battle is over. And I much prefer this way of doing things.
Yes.
I really, really like this game. I want everything they ever come out with it because more skill lines, more ways to get cool abilities and build out your character. You just feel very, very cool when you're playing this game, and you get very, very strong and stuff. So
you absolutely do.
It's pretty awesome. But now, Betrayal of the Second Era is very, very fun. Very, very good Elder Scrolls game. But
very cool.
What was your favorite game? Let us know
That's what
down in the comments below. And let us know what you've been looking at in the Geek recently. And I think that's going to be it, eh?
That's it, everybody. I did a typewriter bit
Yeah,
just there. You saw that? All right, we'll see y'all next month.
Bye, everybody.